Hey, I'm Ben Marshall, and in today's video we're going to talk about Festool guide rails and which length is right for your shop. Hey, I'm Ben Marshall and welcome back to 2 Minute Tuesday, a short weekly video segment where I share some tips and tricks that will hopefully help you out in the shop this week in only 2 minutes or less. This week I am going to talk about guide rails, Festool guide rails. Now it could be any guide rail for whatever brand track saw you have. It's just guide rails in general. I use Festool, so that's what I can talk about. Festool guide rails are expensive. The one that I want to get is like $355, which is a lot of money to throw down for just a piece of extruded aluminum. However, you're not just getting a long track or a long guide rail, you're getting ease of use or confidence that when you lay that track down, you're going to get a straight rip every single time. And I'm at the point now where I need to save time and I don't want to fiddle with connecting multiple guide rails, and it's just, to me, the money is worth the frustration that it saves trying to get these smaller guide rails. However, I realize that everybody's in the same boat that I am. We all have our different limitations that we have to get around. Hopefully this video will help you with deciding what to purchase or what guide rail length you need to purchase for your shop. So let's go ahead and throw 2 minutes on the clock and get into the discussion. I currently own 3 different Festool guide rails. I own the 1900 guide rail, which is this one here, and then I own 2 1080 millimeter guide rails. And whenever I need to make rips that are longer than 1900 millimeters, I use these 2 quick guide rail connectors, which are made by Festool. They're 2 steel sleeves that slide into the T-track channels that are on the guide rail, connects them together. Initially, when I first used these, they worked really well. However, over time, I started to get errors in the rips that I was making. When I would rip with the 2 guide rails connected, there would be a cant or an offline rip at the joint. And so when you are connecting 2 guide rails together using these guide rail connectors, or I think any other manufactured guide rail connectors, you need a straight edge in order to make sure that the connected guide rails are in fact in line with each other. And so over time, this just becomes a really big hassle. And so if you really value your time in the shop or on site or wherever it is that you're having to do these long rips, it's just less things that you have to do in order to get these straight line rips. If you use a crew that helps you out, it's just less errors, less equipment that you have to worry about losing or bringing with you. If you had one single continuous guide rail that you would use for long rips, you don't have to worry about bringing anything else to make sure that that rip is going to be straight. You lay down the entire guide rail, you rip the entire length, it's done. And so the less frustrations that I have when I need to do my work, the absolute best. And especially if it's going to save me time while still maintaining accuracy and consistency. So this leads me to my recommendation as to what guide rail length that you should be looking at getting. And it is the longest rail that you can transport or store. Like, that's pretty much what it really boils down to. You can get multiple short lengths. However, I think if you're buying multiple short guide rail lengths in the hopes that using guide rail connectors are going to give you consistent results every time, that's kind of a mixed bag. It really depends on who's using it, how well they're setting it up, how well they're taking care of it. From what I've read online, when you use at least the Festool guide rail connectors, I can't speak about other manufacturers, you really have to be careful with how you tighten down these fluthead screws. If you do it too much or too hard or too tight, it's going to ruin the system, or it's not going to give you consistent results. To me, it's just not worth that much effort. I hope that this helped you out, and if you found it helpful, make sure you subscribe. I will continue to try to do videos every week. Other than that, thanks for stopping by, and I will see you in the next video.